Hi, everybody. You're watching the Wrestler Review. I'm good guy, John Hastings. And today is my co-host, noted super spreader of COVID, Dylan Gott.
Super spreader.
Just kidding. COVID's a myth.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's not real. I just wanted everyone to go inside so I could jack off in public places.
Think about this. What if COVID was a comedian? They'd probably be really happy he went viral, you know? Has anyone made that joke? Did you know it also sounds like a beer? It sounds like a beer. I'm Dylan Gott. That's John Hastings. You know why we're gonna do a lot of padding this week? Because we are doing a wrestler who
Not that guy, but sort of actually a much better guy. It's the Renegade, and he was someone that he should have given speeches. Dylan, here's a pop quiz for you. Between the Ultimate Warrior and the Renegade, which one do you think said queering more often?
I'm gonna say that the Ultimate Warrior did, but it's close because the Gade was a male stripper for a while, and he's just doing what he can to make a living. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say this. Do you know how I guarantee when Ultimate Warrior found out the guy that was essentially impersonating his gimmick in WCW had been a male stripper? I guarantee Jim Hellwig walked into, like, just burned down his house.
Yeah, because it's pretty recent. Did you see the Dark Side of the Ring on the Ultimate Warrior?
Oh, let me tell you this. They really tried. They did a very, if anything,
of
homophobia
stuff.
Vast underreporting of his later career. It's very funny because it was like he was a Donald Trump conservative in the 90s.
Well, this is the fun thing about him, and the fact that it's kind of revealed that he's like, oh, my wife did this, and his wife is like working with the WWE on that cancer foundation.
Yeah.
Where it's my second wife introduced me to being a super conservative. My first wife literally just wanted to love me, and I said no because they're out there and I hate them.
Yeah. My wife said I love you to me, which we all know is a trick women use to recruit homosexuals.
I'm not a fucking simp.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not simping for you.
Hey, wife, do I look like a fudge packer? Because only fudge packers talk to women.
I can just hear when No Context Wrestler Review is going to clip something.
Oh my God, yes. And like that one. But I'm going to say this, right? Ultimate Warrior, possibly the biggest homophobe in the history of modern wrestling.
Really?
70s forward, I'll give it to the Ultimate Warrior. Not the biggest racist.
70s forward.
Yeah. Pre-1970s, Ultimate Warrior would have been a snowflake. What are you doing wearing colored trunks?
Well, it is funny that, I guess that even in wrestling circles, all these wrestlers are guilty of homophobia in the way that they go, it's just a joke, man. But the Ultimate Warrior is like, no, it's a statement and one I believe.
Yeah. The Ultimate Warrior is also that thing of the way he was saying it, everyone would have been like, man, the Ultimate Warrior is pranking everyone. And then he has a giant banner that is like, this is not a prank. I genuinely believe it. And there's a contract everyone has to sign, which is like, I acknowledge this man is being serious.
Yeah, I mean, here's my impression of the Ultimate Warrior if he would have stayed alive for Donald Trump. The power of the warriors who are all straight.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that the Ultimate Warrior was dead 2 years before a Donald Trump presidency. I'll tell you who's the vice president. If Donald Trump, it's the Ultimate Warrior. Do you understand? If January 6th would have had a fucking this is what the January 6th storm the Capitol. Everything would be the same, except for once they broke through those first doors, a man named Jim with a boombox.
They all part, and the warrior just comes running, but he's exhausted, so people have to carry him.
Yeah. He's just walking very slow.
Oh, that was my favorite part about it, where it's like, I don't know if you ever saw this, but once again, very niche stand-up comedy reference. Let's go. There used to be people who really wanted to be Dane Cook when they started comedy, but the best ones were guys who wanted to be Dane Cook but were too fat. So they would try and have Dane Cook's energy, and then halfway through, they're like, when girls... and they'd just be sucking back wind so hard.
Dylan Gott, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan Gott really wanted to be Dane Cook. He really wanted to be Dane Cook and Jim Davidson.
I'm Gaines Cook right now, you know?
Yeah. Combination of Chris Gaines and Dane Cook.
Chris Gaines Cook. I like that.
Oh my God, Dylan, can that be your new character, Chris Gaines Cook? You just
Garth
say
Brooks,
the lyrics.
The only problem with that album was that his hairstyle was too early. Justin Bieber took Chris Gaines and made a whole fucking career out of him, didn't he?
Also, and I've said this before on the cast, I'm going to say it again. If you haven't watched the Garth Brooks documentary that's on Netflix, you haven't lived. By the way, this is how he covers the Chris Gaines situation. They go, Chris Gaines, you want to talk about Chris Gaines? How about you ask my wife about Chris Gaines? And then it cuts to Trisha Yearwood. It cuts to Trisha Yearwood, his wife, looking, as my friend Rivers described, horny as fuck, just going, I really like that Chris Gaines album. It's really good. And you're like, oh shit. Garth Brooks, did you just invent? Is that your sex character? Wait a minute. Garth Brooks, Ultimate Warrior. Renegade Chris Gaines. Garth Brooks, enough of an artist. He is both the Renegade and the Ultimate Warrior. Here's my philosophy. All 90s pop culture figures have the original version and then the Renegade version. Only Garth Brooks is man enough to be both.
That is, put that on the fucking tombstone. You've had many epitaphs, but that's one of the best ones.
Oh, that's right. We're all a warrior and a renegade at times. Make sure you die a warrior.
We should talk about this. Richard Wilson. October 16th, 1965. We're going to have to stretch even that. What else happened on that day?
The Ultimate Warrior was 3, and he burned all of his stuffed animals in the backyard because they were, quote unquote, making him weak.
Wrong. Moon landing, I guess.
No, moon landing was much later in the 60s.
Yeah, but they thought about it.
I'm going to punch you in your goddamn face.
But they thought, what if there was a moon landing? And that's when the Gade was born.
Oh, sidebar, by the way, that no one will understand but Dylan. That photo that you told me about on the phone earlier this week, I saw it, lived up to every expectation.
Very good.
It's really good. He was best friends with an independent wrestler named Mike. So it's not looking good for old Rich Wilson already.
That's what you know when Chris Hobson is reaching, where it's like he's in friends with an independent wrestler.
Yeah, he's friends with an independent wrestler.
Both of us
by the way,
friends with independent wrestlers.
Yeah, and we are not we are male strippers, but we've kept it strictly amateur. He moved to Boston. He was a male stripper in Boston. Do you understand how weird it is to be totally naked and still in snow boots?
Yeah, exactly. Or just like around guys who are homophobic, like, I'm fucking gay, but I'm not fucking gay. You know what I mean?
Bro, let me tell you this about Mikey. Oh, sure, he's been married to Lance for over 40 years, but he's still a good Catholic, and he's got a wife and kids. He doesn't know where they are. He doesn't know who 2 of the kids are named.
It would also was like he probably had to be his own bouncer at these. But, all right, so he received a minimal amount of training by Jerry Oates. Daryl Oates' brother, Jerry.
Yeah, he
Oates.
met Jerry. Yeah, the disappointment of the Oates family and the inspiration for the song Man Eater, Jerry Oates.
Yes, Jerry Oates.
Trained him a little bit. He then met Richard Byrne at a nightclub. Byrne was a karate instructor who also trained wrestlers and did some independent promotions.
90s thing I've ever heard is a male stripper being trained to be a wrestler by a karate instructor.
Oh my God. Yeah. The entire time there were just various members of the Backstreet Boys just walking in going, hey, do you guys want some Snapple?
Yeah, and then just these aren't Zubaz pants. This is my skin now. Zubaz will never go out of style.
We'll have to stop training at 9:30 because that's when Caroline in the City comes on.
Yeah. We're big CIC fans in this goddamn place,
yeah. All right, let's all just remember. Let's remember the Kosovo War and the fact that there was something called Operation Desert Storm. Let's get after it.
You know, I'm suddenly, Susan, let's send down to watch some TV.
Oh my God, yes, Brooke Shear, and also Rick Wilson worked for Men in Motion, which I believe was the Renegade version of the Chippendales Dancers. Sidebar, if you're looking for a fun podcast, the podcast on Spotify put out by Gimlet that is about the entire story of the Chippendales rise and fall. Fucking amazing.
There's a fall?
Oh, there's like a murder and a suicide involved in Chippendales.
Oh, gross.
It's so good.
Benoit of who is the Chris Benoit of Chippendales?
The guy that started it.
Oh, wow. He used his finishing dance move on his partner. Yeah. And then that's terrifying.
It's fucking great. He was often mistaken for the Ultimate Warrior before they entered the business. This just goes to show how popular wrestling is in Georgia. No one else has ever been mistaken for being a wrestler outside of the 3 years of 97 to the 2000 when bald men were mistaken for Steve Austin.
Yeah, Steve Austin really created a look that only is passed on to racists.
Oh, yeah. He created a look that's really been passed on to dudes that will just smoke in your car without asking.
Sorry, I just didn't think you were a fucking pussy. I assumed.
Yeah. Well, there's a window that you could open if you want to ruin my good time.
It's fun when you smoke in people's cars. Like, yeah, just open the window. It's like, no, I'm keeping these closed.
Oh, God. I used to love smoking in cars and driving. So fun.
Smoking is really good. Guys,
so
you know
good.
what? A Wrestler Review, officially, our first product we'll advertise here. Smoking, and then, of course, Mountain Dew. Lower that sperm count, and try not to get a boner.
Yeah. Smoke to make your dick. Because here's the thing we all know about, unless you're talking about the cult of Cornette, when it comes to pro wrestling-based podcasts, our fans have the hardest penises, followed next by all of the people Jim Cornette knows, as he claimed on his podcast in one of the greatest moments of that man's podcast ever, where he was very upset other wrestling podcasts were advertising for Blue Chew. So he just claimed all of his listeners have hard dicks.
Yeah, we don't fucking have fucking loser ass. And it's like, statistically speaking, it's just like old weirdos who listen to Cornette probably. So I'd say there's one hard on per 10.
You got to all listen to Jim Cornette reviews Double or Nothing because he doesn't watch 2 of the matches. And he's just like, I knew I wasn't going to like them.
That's good. But I mean, Jim Cornette hates absolutely everything that's not like. And I listen to every hey, this is a new company, and then it's just like, have you ever seen those wrestling companies that are like exactly 70s wrestling and they're just for kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all
Jim Cornette
awful.
would watch that and be like, this is great. And it's just like a mechanic who's trying to get some exercise.
It's insane.
Work a fucking hammerlock for 30 minutes, you stupid fuck.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to sleep for a full day while the match is happening.
See what they're doing there in that headlock? They are sleeping. That is good energy management. Okay,
so while Rich Wilson is going to do, is pretending to be Tarzan and working in New England and going once to Japan.
Really see, I want to cut you off and say this. The thing was like, you look like too much like the Ultimate Warrior. What's your character? Are we thinking something new? No, Tarzan.
Yeah, it's got to be something very far away from what the Ultimate Warrior did. Ultimate Warrior clearly was a desert guy. You'll be from the jungle.
Yeah. Parts unknown. Here's the thing about your character. We're going to have where you're from in the fucking title. His name was Rio, Lord of the Jungle. Is Rio wonderful. An Italian name?
No, I would say it's Portuguese. Rio de Janeiro.
I like that. Here's what I like. I like the fact that you're a Portuguese guy in the jungle, just pissed off everywhere that there's no drywall.
Yeah, you better quickly put on some weirdly blue sweatpants and just put some eggs on toast and give me a pastry.
The fuck am I supposed to do here? There's no one walking by.
Yeah.
I can't even look at anybody.
Are you going to unnecessarily shout at people? Because let me tell you, little Portugal, they love to walk out of the house. Hey, come on! Don't park there! No parking! No parking!
Hey, man, that's why they don't even have a neighborhood watch. Everyone's neighborhood watch.
I will never forget. I was eating breakfast with one Evan Demaray, and a guy came out to yell at someone else because he was like, don't park there, don't park there. And the guy was like, why? And he's like, I like that spot. Don't park there. And I was like...
And then Evan started crying.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Why let him park?
I just want to watch you park. And then Evan and I made out.
I just want to watch Dragon Ball Z. Nice. Is anyone there into anime? I don't get it, but I'm going to have to start probably.
Richard Wilson is. So it's 1995.
Richard Wilson.
Hulk Hogan has just been brought into WCW, and you know what that means? It is time to right some wrongs. Get me, Ultimate Warrior. It's time for him to lose.
It is very, very interesting about how easy it was, just to take one step back, how easy it was to get booked in Japan, where this guy was working New England Indies, and they were like, no, yeah, we can get you a tour of Japan. Someone paid this man, like, we gotta get Rio, Lord of the Jungle, to Japan. This guy's gonna fucking kill it. And then I guess Hogan hears about this, because Hogan was doing way more stuff in Japan at the time,
Well, this that's a great point. It's what it is that he wanted the Ultimate Warrior. So Hogan is in WCW. He's making so much money. He wants the Ultimate Warrior to come in.
The Ultimate Warrior wants more money than he makes and less dates. We should say
2.5 million. No, I don't think that's more money than Hulk Hogan made. Hulk Hogan made crazy money.
Because the thing is, we don't have the craziest deal too, because it was like we have the 9-part series or whatever on Hogan, but like he also like got a cut of the gross of everything, like not net. Gross of the pay-per-views.
He got a gross of every pay-per-view, whether or not he was on it. Is that correct?
Merchandise too?
Yeah.
Or something crazy. His merchandise.
His first contract was basically like, because I'm coming, I'm gonna raise high tide raises all boats. I'm the tide.
Yeah.
You pay for that. And Eric Bischoff was like, yep, good idea. And it was a really good idea. It was the absolute reason anyone was watching any of this shit. And I mean shit, because then when they couldn't get the Ultimate Warrior because he wanted $2.5 million for one match, I'm pretty sure. They went, what the fuck? And so Hogan just had them go get a guy that looked like him. And when you watch the promo that introduces the Renegade, it's so fucking amazing because he goes, it's not even the Ultimate Warrior. It's something like he basically is like, I know it's not the Ultimate Warrior. It's the Ultimate Swerve, which is like, don't say ultimate, man.
Basically he's like, you're getting something red and fast for your birthday. And then you're like, oh my God, it's a car, a horse I fucking painted red. And they do that on pay-per-view. And then this guy comes out and God bless him, 3 years in wrestling, unless you're like a phenom, you're not going to have the most stage presence in the world. So he just comes out and he's like, yeah, I'm the Renegade. I'm here. Please don't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, the Renegade really felt like it was just like, how do I say this?
Well, they give him every advantage. Like, let's just say this. First starts off, gets the Hulk Hogan rub. Second thing is his manager is Jimmy Hart. He's brought in as the guy who's going to introduce bring Hulkamania into the
21st century. Well, and, which means, by the way, Jimmy that he had already agreed to let Hogan fuck his wife. Hey, we will never forget that story and be bringing it up at Hogan's funeral.
Yeah, well, and also, like, he probably was like, let me tell you something, dude. You're in the circle of trust. Here are the ones I like and the ones I don't.
All right, dude. Let me tell you what, dude. I want you, dude, to know that I'm going to fuck your wife, dude.
Here's something important if you're going to work with the Hulkster. Let me try some of your cum, not out of the dick.
Yeah, I like it. You know what, dude? I like it when the cum's baked, dude, and the woman's pussy, dude. Maybe you didn't understand, dude. When I said milk, I was talking about the dried spunk of my friends drained out of a woman's vagina, dude.
So we should talk specifically.
Vince felt, dude, that was a bit too far, dude, for the children. But I always said, dude, kids need to know, dude, that cum, the pussy is like a Ziploc bag filled with cum, dude. And if you're strong like Hulk Hogan, you could pierce the bag and drink their power, dude.
That was the fourth commandment, brother.
Let me tell you this, dude. When you follow the fourth commandment, dude, you get all the dreams of your friends' future and past children, dude.
It's like Rogue. You just absorb who they are, dude.
Yeah. I have Macho Man's dude soul, dude. I paid a coroner in Atlanta to scrape the side, dude. Oh, this is too much.
No, it's good. So,
dude, I have Miss Elizabeth's vagina in a jar, dude.
Jesus Christ. So here's how he gets into the Renegade. How he gets into WCW is that his independent promoter, he worked with was the Ultimate Warrior chauffeur.
Yeah, and what is that guy's name? What is that guy's name?
Wendell Weatherby.
Yeah, a guy named
Mr. Weatherby from the Archie comics is who I envision him as.
Basically, you could say who's responsible for this suicide. Oh, that'll be Wendell.
I mean, a Wendell does strike you as a man who would be responsible for one.
Yeah. It's
you
so
just haven't
fucking
lived up.
Yeah. What the hell?
I'm not your father, but you've still disappointed me. Weatherby out.
Wendell, drive me. Do you think that Wendell Weatherby just had that song on a tape, and it just every time Ultimate Warrior got in the car, press it in with two fingers?
I would believe that Ultimate Warrior only listened to Rush Limbaugh, but with his theme song softly playing underneath Rush Limbaugh.
That's so funny. Well, just to let everyone know out there, whenever I'm in a debate, I have my brain tied behind my back because I'm a fucking loser.
I have no morals. I just want money. I am a lizard man.
Yeah. My dad beat me just enough that I don't care about what other people think, but I do care about that they know how much money I have. Also, when you read about how much Oxycontin I was trafficking in Florida, you're really shocked that I'm not spending the rest of my life in jail.
I'm so shocked. Like, I don't know. Did you read up on any reason that like Hulk Hogan did this? Because Wendell Weatherby, children's character Wendell Weatherby, learns about this
guy that a black guy implied Jughead fucked in the movie Chasing Amy.
Mm-hmm. Wendell Weatherby. He learns about this and then goes, well, why? You can't get the Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior wanted $2.5 million. I was trying to look up highest paid athletes, but $2.5 million in 1995 is like a top flight football player, American football player. So you're getting these guys. He wants like a lot of money. WCW says no. And then this random man goes, well, why don't you get a guy who just looks like him? And then Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan look at each other and they go, yes. Like, isn't that insane? That would be the backup plan? Instead of like, let's try a new character, it was like, no. This will just, because they wanted to call him Ultimate Renegade, but then WWF did a copyright and Jerry McDevitt showed up to the Renegade's house and said 4 years. And then Renegade went, what? And he went, I'm into the dirt now. And then he literally hid in the dirt.
So the Ultimate Warrior in 1995 wanted the equivalent of today of $4.4 million for one match with Hulk Hogan.
Pretty much, yeah. Because he didn't want to work it. He just wanted, that's sick.
That's so good.
But when you don't want something,
every time you picture Jerry McDevitt, he's wearing a bolo tie, right? That's what I always pick. Whenever you say Jerry McDevitt, I'm always picturing a man in a bolo tie. So we meet again.
I picture a guy who watches Mississippi Burning and goes, see, I would have won that case.
Yeah, no, he's the kind of guy that he roots for the judge in the movie A Time to Kill.
He's been retroactively trying to get Jack Nicholson off and A Few Good Men in his downtime.
Yeah.
He's like, Tom Cruise didn't win that case.
Objection.
No, torture's fine if they are, hear me out here, not the same as you. Do you want me to describe that? Please don't. Too bad. I have a book.
Why didn't he just say that they needed to protect the business? Yeah. Private Santiago, a screwed Private Santiago.
So Eric Bischoff also officially has denied any negotiations with the Warrior took place.
This is a weird thing Eric Bischoff does. Mm-hmm. Is he just no one would lie about that, Eric. Eric Bischoff always denies things where it's like no one would lie about that. That's not a thing people lie about.
I will say this about Eric Bischoff. He is quoted as saying that wrestling fans are a lot like people who just show up to magic shows. That even if they know something happened, it always helps to be like, no, that was real, or no, that didn't happen. So he does that all the time just to create people talking.
I know it's really annoying because that's the one thing I'll give about the early days of Bruce Pritchard's podcast is at least Bruce Pritchard was being as honest as he felt. Like he felt he was being very honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and now he's just run out of things to talk about where it's like, I don't care, who knows, I'm going to shoot on the guy that ran the concession stand that one night in Texas. Those hot dogs were fucking stale, buddy. We got a t-shirt on sale, stale hot dog time.
Yeah. Let me tell you this right now about working with Ric Flair in the 2000s. Mm-hmm. I was not there to do that. What do you have to say about that, Conrad?
But I will still talk about it for 9 hours. I mean, look at what we're doing, though. Anyway, Eric Bischoff, of course, blames the angle on Hulk Hogan. This is a quote here.
Oh, yeah. This is my favorite. Is that he's immediately like, well, it was Hogan's fault. And I was like, no, it's your fault. You could have just been like, no.
Yeah, I run this place, no.
Yeah. Wilson never wanted to take the job, but his karate instructor friend told him that, oh, no, yeah. Like people said, like, don't do this. It will destroy your career. But he was like, it's too good of an opportunity. The other problem is Hulk Hogan then tried to push him like the Warrior was pushed, in that he went on to beat everybody.
But not in the same way.
No, he beat Arn Anderson pretty fast.
But he beat him in 15 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, he was like wrestling matches against people who, by the way, are like, all right, so the Ultimate Warrior comes in and the Ultimate Warrior murders everybody for 2 years and then murders the Honky Tonk Man and basically doesn't have a competitive match until like Rick Rude. I mean, I'm probably wrong on that. I'm just going off the top of
Hercules Hernandez is the first time I remember having him having a competitive match. Was Hercules Hernandez.
Yeah, years into his career, whereas the Renegade's like, okay, Renegade's here in March. By June, he beats Arn Anderson in 15 minutes. And if you're a new WCW fan who doesn't know anything about wrestling, Arn Anderson's like, why is he taking 15 minutes to beat up the gardener?
Yeah, like this guy's super muscly. Why is he taking 15 minutes to beat up your like every dad who woke up from a nap? God damn it! What's with the noise on a Saturday?
Arn Anderson, at one point, if he would have been in the WWF, 100% would have come out in just an open bathrobe, and he would not have had music. It would have just been like an alarm clock going on, and then the word Jesus Christ. He just stumbles. He puts his coffee mug on the ring steps. It just beats the shit out of someone. His only moves are uppercuts, and he's naked. He's also full naked.
Yeah, the match has to resolve quickly because he has to take his morning shit.
Yeah. Now we got a fucking Arn Anderson loses. Why? He counted out. He went to take a shit. And then all his promos are just about how he smokes cigars on Saturdays because the wife won't find out. Gives you a day to have the smoke come off your clothes. Aren't you going to talk about wrestling Billy Gunn? I don't know what that is. Here are some highways to take to get to this arena smoother.
You guys seem hungry. Do you want to know places that serve food at weird times? If I ever told you about the time Dylan watched a Canadian comedian eat pie with a credit
card. He got pie and he's like, my wife doesn't want me to do this. And then he cut it up like it was cocaine and fucking with a credit card. I mean, I'm not going to judge. I would have eaten it with my hands. I don't know why you used the credit card instead of your hands, to be fair.
It was a fork because he was driving.
There's a line somewhere, I guess. You don't just fucking eat the pie, I suppose. We should take a break because you need to literally check on something you're cooking, no?
Yeah, I do.
All right, so you do that, and then we'll come back and talk more about Arn Anderson in a bathrobe instead of a renegade.
I mean, the idea of Arn Anderson.
Suck me. Arn Anderson coming out in a bathrobe was the missed opportunity of the 90s.
I mean, Double or Nothing was very exciting, even though it was a bit of a mess. And I'll tell you what would have made that pay-per-view so much better. Just in the middle of the Cody match against a Go-Go, just Arn Anderson coming through the crowd in a bathrobe. just
morning wood. That's the other thing. He has to have morning wood because this man just got up and he is not lacking for blood flow. Don't ignore that. First of all, ignore that. Get your mind out of the gutter. He just woke up, for Christ's sakes.
Oh my God! I've never.
Is his wife yelling from the bath?
Yeah, his man.
Are you done yet? Are you done yet, Arthur? His long Arnold.
Arnold. Are you Arnold? Have you gone to the market? You mean the grocery store, Bev? You
Put
call it the
goddamn pants on if you're going to be fighting those boys, Arnold. Shut. Oh, now and then he wins so fast. That's when he injures the other wrestlers.
He just starts. Now you're my wife. Now you're my wife. Now you're my wife.
And you're my wife. You're my wife. All right. Now go check on what you have cooking, literally, and we'll be back with more on The Renegade.
Oh, I just had some almonds and Dylan had a full jack. I watched him. He kept the camera above, so it was just facial expressions, which is how I like my JOI videos. Most people want a hot lady to tell them how to jerk off. I like what it's called the mirror version of a JOI video, which is just a video of your friends jacking off, but you only see like one part of their face.
Yeah, where you go, it's going good, man. You're really pulling that thing good.
Yeah. Hey, man, keep at it. You're having fun.
Keep eating off. All right, so I was saying this, but this is Eric Bischoff blaming the angle on Hulk Hogan, the entire Renegade angle. But let's not to avoid the elephant in the room. That was very much a Hulk Hogan influenced decision. And looking back on it now, I understand what Hulk was trying to do. He was trying to recreate some of the success he had experienced when he was in the WWF. I get it. His view on his view and his take and his perception on characters and what would work and what couldn't work was highly influenced by the things that had success in the WWF. He was in the WWF previously. Pardon me. I understand that. So I just don't get where it's like, what lack of creative do you have where you're like, let's try the Ultimate Warrior? Because I think the Renegade is a good name, is the other thing.
The other thing is you can do an Ultimate Warrior ripoff the way they were doing it. The problem actually with the Renegade and why it's sort of sad isn't that they did this. There's tons of ripoffs. Like Triple H's entire career is he's basically ripping off another guy. Kenny,
he does it. He rips off a bunch of guys.
Yeah,
exactly. Triple H is literally Triple H, the game character, is essentially what he's become as Lemmy Kilmister, Arn Anderson, Harley Race guy.
Yeah,
and Ric Flair. He just put all the things he likes. Oh, and he has some Barbarian. So it's like all the things he liked when he was 13. We've talked about this. And
we talked about a lot.
Triple H is a LARPer. It's just he worked out. And much like Jim Ross in a weird way, there's these guys who are like wrestling fans are like okay with being nerds now.
Yeah. And
Triple H and Jim Ross are holding hands yelling, you're not supposed to be okay with it. You're supposed to change who you are.
Yeah. You're not a nerd. This is how nerds become athletes. We're athletes. Like Jim Ross, the reason why Jim Ross always talks about how he ran the WWE like a football coach is because he wants to be the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. And his
dream is to be actual respected athlete.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, I listened to both Jim Ross's audiobooks in like 2 weeks, and it's like, yeah, that guy, one of the biggest scars on that man's professional life is definitely the XFL, where it's like, he got his chance and he did a good job at being a football announcer. It's just that it was Vince McMahon's weird football league, and what should have just been like what the XFL is going to be with The Rock, where it's just a bunch of like fun rules. There's 9 footballs on the field now.
Yeah.
I mean,
for an entire Saturday, it's just The Rock walking around the football field telling you about stuff he's done.
Well, they're throwing cod out into the crowd because The Rock wants everyone to have a solid diet.
Yeah. Oh my God, The Rock has just taken the microphone and instead of singing the national anthem, is just letting people know that melon with a touch of cottage cheese is an absolute fun treat.
But anyway. Whatever we were fucking talking about here, the Gade comes in. His manager's Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart does 98% of the talking, and then the Renegade goes, yeah. And he is doing a bad Ultimate Warrior too. Like
this is the thing is all he basically needed to not do is not have if they didn't give him face paint and they just didn't have him go you could make an argument it was not an Ultimate Warrior ripoff.
Yeah. Well, also, like, he is completely helped. Is it kind of, you know what weirdly it is?
Well, but I mean, here's the real problem. You're beating around the fucking bush, Dylan. Stop beating around my bush. I want you to just go sit in my bush. Is basically this is his push. He shows up at Uncensored. Hulk Hogan says the word ultimate 40 times. Fucks Rick Wilson's wife. Rick Wilson then goes on TV. He beats all of the bitter, angry people. Basically, Paul Orndorff and Arn Anderson have to job to him, so that means he's just made enemies in the locker room because Paul Orndorff and Arn Anderson are both assholes.
And so respected.
So respected assholes. Still, like Paul Orndorff apparently left his Hall of Fame trophy in the hotel because he didn't like the quality of wood. That's what kind of prick we're dealing with here.
But you can also tell how green someone is by the fact that essentially his first 2 feuds are with wrestling trainers.
Yeah, his first 2 feuds are with guys that literally were like, "Oh, who was wrestling on Saturday night? It was just Arn Anderson for an hour, and no one noticed."
I'm going to do the entire event exactly by myself. Like, yeah, it's pretty much just he does absolutely everything by himself.
News for you. Everyone remembers loving the Brainbusters. What it is you love Arn Anderson, and then there was another guy there to remind you how much you love Arn Anderson, because you're like,
hate Tully Blanchard.
I hate Tully Blanchard. He was the worst part about Stadium Stampede. Just an old stringy-armed loser.
I do like the fact that he just showed up to help his friends fight, and he didn't help at all.
Yeah, of course, because it's Tully.
Really fast. Yeah, really good stuff.
And by the way, while they were beating him up, you think you're tough? You think you're tough? You think you're tough? Like, Tully's annoying.
But also, like, to get back on topic with the Renegade, I'm just thinking about how much, like, you're like, okay, Hulk Hogan does run WCW, but does he run it this much that now two of the most respected wrestlers in the locker room have to lose to this fucking guy?
Well, the thing with it is that I think that's why it lasts for a bit, and then Hogan starts getting bored. Because the thing is also around September, I think, is when Hogan leaves or when Hogan comes back.
Well, September is when they start doing Nitro.
September is when they start doing Nitro, and that's when they pivot to more serious sort of things.
He's the last straw. Like, very, very obviously, the Renegade is okay. We're done with this now. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, we're actually gonna do stuff now. We can't just completely rip off every WWE, because it was like they'd already done The Boss by this time, with obviously bringing in Ray Traylor. The Shark, Avalanche. Like, this is like first version, and then they were like 96. The start of 95 and 96, they're like, okay, well, maybe we should like change their characters, but just a bit, so people still know who they are from WWF. And then they come up with like, well, let's just do a full-on WWF invasion.
I mean, yeah, the sad thing about about wrestling is this. Since the territories, you have to acknowledge the WWE. You're always going to be against the WWE. They're always the number one. They won.
Yeah, they're Coke. And you just got to be Pepsi.
Oh, I thought you meant like cocaine, so you just got to be
you just got to be snorting them, you know what I mean?
You got to be wet.
But as I was saying before, a bit before, the Renegade doesn't even, it isn't like Hulk Hogan's like, here he is, and then he beats everybody up on his own.
Yeah.
And Hulk Hogan just introduces him. It's literally like Jimmy Hart is with him and does all his talking. Hulk Hogan does all his talking, which is like, of course, these guys are way better and way more charismatic than the Renegade, but at some point you need to have your own individual.
And they didn't even do a thing like, if they wanted to keep the push going, what they could have done is had Renegade join like the Horsemen or join the Dungeon of Doom.
Oof. That would have been bad. Join the Dungeon of Doom would have been good. It's just like, I was your guy, and then now I'm evil. I have
like
powers.
That's all they could have done. But because the thing is basically everyone. I guarantee what it was is Kevin Sullivan became also the booker again at this time. I will tell you what we gotta get right. Is what Kevin Sullivan said. Kevin Sullivan looked at Chris Benoit and went, "Do you want to do the plan to him?" And Chris went, "Nancy."
Jeez. Well, that's true though, right? Benoit's still alive. He's on an island with Tupac.
Yeah, Benoit. Okay, check out this conspiracy theory. Benoit plus Epstein equals Vince McMahon.
Ooh, minus Mabel.
I always like those numberology guys. Get this. Renegade. That's number 8. That's number 8.
Oh, yeah, those guys are like 3. What else is 3? Me. 3 years old?
Yeah.
Am I 3 years old? Wah. Yes, I am. I'm a baby again. It just
Holy Trinity. Who else is named Trinity? That woman from The Matrix saw her on an airplane. Air Canada. What does Canada have? Justin Trudeau. His dad, Fidel Castro. I want a Cuban beer.
So the Gade beats Mr. Wonderful in consecutive.
The Gade. Oh, I hate that so much.
The Gade beats Mr. Wonderful in consecutive months.
If anyone is listening to this, please do me a favor and just tweet at Dylan. I don't like the Gade.
I love the Gade. Bash at the Beach, Clash of the Champions. This man.
Oh, how WCW is this? Where is he? And what is he doing in all those matches? He is wrestling for that sweet, sweet TV title, baby.
The TV title was the greatest. Like, such good things happen with that. Obviously, the Booker T Benoit best of 7.
Yeah.
But then such weird, shitty things were associated with the TV title.
Like how many reigns Alex Wright has with the TV title?
Where they were like, hear me out. Let's try Alex Wright again.
Yeah. Hear me out. I got 2 words for you. Vince Russo, 2 more words. Owns, one more word, dog. And that dog is the TV champion.
I do like the idea. I forgot about Alex Wright, how it was like, all right, here's this. Alex Wright, he's a babyface. Why? He has fun dancing. Oh, he's turning heel. What?
And he's from Germany.
He's really good at dancing now. Okay.
Yeah.
Did we mention that he's from Germany? No. I think him being really good at dancing is good.
By the way, he's coming back, and his name will be Berlin, and his bodyguard named The Wall.
Mm-hmm. And also, it's Berlin with a Y, because fucking... It's the 90s. Fuck.
Speaking of, by the way, that led to one of the greatest off-color weird promos ever, which is the director fucked up and there was a planned thing where they were in an outdoor space for Nitro and Hulk Hogan was facing the Wall in a match at the end of the show. And the Wall is supposed to show up like next to the WCW logo. And Hulk Hogan yells, "It's the Wall!" But they forgot to pan. So just in the middle of the promo, Hulk Hogan just yells "Wall."
Wall.
Like he's literally just, let me tell you the Wall. And then, it's great.
It's like he's being hit by a wall, which doesn't move. I like that.
Yeah, it's so fucking insane. Now, here's the crazy thing.
What's the crazy
By the end of 95,
who does he lose the TV title to?
Who does he lose the TV title to?
Diamond Dallas Page.
You finally loses to Diamond Dallas Page.
And then he sucks his own dick, and he's on all fours, and then Diamond Dallas Page pins him. That's how we won.
It's
Diamond Cutter.
Diamond Dallas Page, beats him with a inverted downward dog, suck your own dick move.
Mm-hmm. And then he pins him, and then Renegade goes, worth the trade. And then they laugh.
Eric Bischoff basically like, it was a whole bad idea. I'm not blaming Rick, and then goes on to blame Hulk Hogan and kind of blame Rick.
Yeah, by the way, the NWO was Eric Bischoff's idea. Literally everything else bad with WCW, right down to even his own promos, were someone else's fault.
Yeah.
If Eric Bischoff ever cheated on his wife, that would be because of this woman.
Well, he can't cheat on his wife because he's polyamorous, bro.
I mean, if there's one guy who you would think is polyamorous,
the rumors that Eric Bischoff and Diamond Dallas Page were swingers and they would fuck each other's wives make me happy on a fucking chemical level.
Imagining disgusting Eric Bischoff with wonderful Kimberly Page makes 12-year-old.
Well, here's the thing that's so scary is that Eric Bischoff's had silver hair since he was in his 20s, which means his pubes are probably silver too. Yeah. Which means for a long time in the 90s, black hair on top, gray hair on the bottom. That's what Kimberly saw. Kimberly saw that. First of all, Kimberly saw a man dressed completely in a karate gi come into the bedroom because foreplay is conducted in a gi.
He just watches. First of all, there's no way he wears the pants. He just wears the top half.
Of course, that's when I wear a gi for sex.
Swinging around, you know.
Yeah, he goes. This is my flesh belt.
Also, if you don't think that Eric Bischoff,
how dare you not acknowledge how funny
your genitals, then you're an idiot. But he definitely his pubes ever since he got them. He was. Just I guarantee. Nope. Bye bye. He says bye bye every time.
He shaved the Turner logo into his pubic mound. Mm. Yeah.
That's how he was like, hey, do you like the idea of us going one-on-one against Vince McMahon on Mondays? And then he was like, Ted, do I? And then he showed him, yes.
The Turner logo. He had the Turner logo. That's so good. I like, by the way, that Arn Anderson, once you get the whole story about the Renegade and find out the guy was brought in under the illusion he was going to be the Ultimate Warrior with the promises made, all the things he was told, and then everything caved in on him. He just had to be himself. He wasn't ready for that spot. He was very green. It was just a cavalcade of misdirections and stumbled steps and just a bad idea, I think. I mean, like, never once do you say he's a nice guy. You're basically like, he was told a bunch of stuff and he couldn't handle it because he was weak. And it's like, what the fuck?
Well, it does suck coming that you're going to be the Ultimate Warrior getting a super push. He beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. He beat Stunning Steve Austin, one of his first matches. Yeah. Crushed him. So, you're going to get... Thank
God for Stone Cold Steve Austin Vince McMahon never found out about the Renegade, because if he knew that the Renegade could beat Stone Cold that easily, he would have brought him in.
He would have
during their feud, no problem.
He would have won King of the Ring. The Renegade would have.
Oh my God. What's crazy is everyone's like, but man, WCW is so crazy that they did this. I got fucking news for you. There is no fucking way that Vince McMahon wouldn't have done this also. If Vince McMahon had thought of this, he would have done this.
Yeah, because it's fake Diesel and fake Razor, obviously.
Yeah, I was about to say that, like, this, if actually anything, this is a better version of fake Diesel and fake Razor Ramon.
That is no, totally. I mean, what would they have called Diesel? Just like gasoline.
Yeah.
It's gasoline and
Truckman
Carl.
Yeah. Now let's run through the Renegades 96. He loses to DDP. He loses to Arn Anderson. He loses at World War III. Go ahead.
Everyone gets their win back. That's what happens. He jobbed to Paul Orndorff. Paul Orndorff beats him up, and then I'm sure just takes a bunch of his clothes too, and he's like, "That's because I lost to you, you little cunt."
Hey, let me tell you, my wife needs some new clothes. Give me your shirt. What? Yeah, prank. I'm Mr. Wonderful. I just did diarrhea in your bed.
How about this? A little cream in your coffee. That's just spoiler. That's my cum. I have.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful. Did I ever tell you about how I cut Adonis's brake lines?
How about this? How about you can't have vegetables for a year and you got to get diverticulitis? Ha ha ha. That's a prank, but.
Hey, Mr. Wonderful here. How you doing? Me, Paul Orndorff. Let me tell you, one time I was in Kansas City and I just rigged up a harness for Owen Hart. One thing led to another and he died and I was happy.
You see that Oklahoma City building?
9/11, that was me, actually. I always felt New York was a bit up itself.
Yeah, I was ribbing the JYD, and bottom line, the Pentagon's been crashed into now. Just a rib on the JYD.
You ever ribbed the JYD? Let me tell you, one thing led to another. Him and his wife are dead. I ribbed
him. Big rib on this college girl. I have an alias, Ted Bundy. Mr. Bundy.
Yeah. Here's something you need to know about Mr. Wonderful there. You see the dark side of the ring about the Grizzly Smith family? Everything Grizzly did was my idea.
That was my big rib.
Yeah. I needed to get Mean Gene a birthday present. And then he then also starts tagging a bunch with a guy named Joe Gomez, where you're just Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez doesn't even know where he's supposed to be fake from because he's always in the ring when introductions are being made.
I will say this. I watched some Renegade squash matches, and he does get some offense. It's just... Also, when the Renegade was around originally, he was like, all his moves were like the Ultimate Warrior, but a bit better. Like his finishing move was a top rope splash instead of just a standing splash. And then he just reverts to exactly doing the Ultimate Warrior's moveset. But his new gear is like, it's just like he just kind of looks like he looks like Conan the Barbarian, but with less budget.
The one thing I will say though is better wrestler than the Ultimate Warrior, which is so funny.
No, not the charisma though. Like he
doesn't have the charisma, but he actually he is way better at as being an actual wrestler.
The nuts and bolts of wrestling. It's just he's super dull, but also he hasn't learned how to wrestle at all. Like he was a part-time wrestler who did one tour and then was brought in to be the Ultimate Warrior, and then everyone hated him. Like it must have been a weird going to a new school feeling, where the teacher just comes up in front of the class and is like, everybody has to like this person. And then they just fucking hated him. But also it's like old carnies. So it's the worst.
Yeah. It's also this interesting thing. I find like the Renegade, I was like doing the research and thinking about it, because it was one of those things where we do have to pad a little bit to talk about the Renegade, but the Renegade is sort of this weird... It's that is this weird thing of he gets and then WCW did Renegade, and that was such a crazy bad time for them. But it was they could have just taken him off TV after that push and trained him a little better and given him some confidence. Instead, it was this sort of weird thing of it this guy from Florida who eventually is going to get a computer in his back thinks you're all right. So,
well, that's the other thing about the old Gade is that he signed originally for 2 years and $150,000 a year. And we're going to talk about what he was like in 1998, which means that they rehired him.
Yeah, he was there for 4 or 5 years. Like he was.
Yeah, he went down with it. They kept the Renegade on salary. They were like, you know what, your time here is at an end, Sean Waltman. But the Gade, he gets your money.
Here's what I want to say. If you ever want to know why millennials are upset, is because in the 90s, if you were in the workforce in most industries, there was like a 2-year period where you just made over 6 figures just because you were hanging out for a bit.
Like I got real drunk at an office party. Give him $25,000 bonus.
Yeah. Some guy just told us that we should put radio on the internet. I just gave that guy $900,000. I was about to do the same thing.
So, yeah, the Renegade loses to a cavalcade of people. He even gets another chance at the world's TV title with Booker T. And you're right, they totally could have retooled him if they wanted to. He wasn't really that distinctive looking either. Like, you could have totally just taken him off television because he already had face paint, so you could take him off and just be like, shave his head. And to me also, when I look at him, like, he doesn't look like he had the same kind of hair, I guess, as the Warrior, but more so it's like he kind of looks like
much drier
hair. Yes,
much drier hair. Also, the makeup, I thought the makeup was the worst part. The thing that was hokey about him the most was he had that R just on his face.
The R was bad.
Like, come on, bro.
The R was really bad.
Well, the year is 1998, and what are they using the Renegade for in 1998, Dylan? 2 things.
They finally bring in the ultimate Snorier.
Oh, you got. You got. He got.
Dig him up because he hasn't been cremated. He just was burned. You know what I mean?
I did get that. Yeah.
Thanks, man. They bring in the Ultimate Warrior, and they use the Renegades as a stunt double. And the Ultimate Warrior also, what does he do?
Openly is hostile towards the Renegade because he stole his gimmick.
His mind, he stole his gimmick, not just like Hulk Hogan was like, you be this. And the guy was like, thank you so much for the money. I don't have to work 3 jobs now.
Yeah. I don't have to now be a male stripper. I can do something that is both not as and yet somehow much more demeaning all at the same time.
Guaranteed it's more to me. You think I'm sure there are, every single job has its politics, but I can't imagine the politics of stripping being as bad as wrestling.
Absolutely. I guarantee in a green room of a strip club, you don't have to shake everyone's hand.
No one's like, I want top billing. Or maybe they are. They probably are.
Yeah, someone's probably like, and give me that fucking comb.
Yeah, exactly. But he's a stunt double for the Ultimate Warrior, and then he closes the trap door wrong on purpose and hurts Davey Boy Smith. That's not true, but it could have been.
I love it. I wish I was Davey Boy Smith. I'm so happy that's how Davey Boy Smith, essentially, Davey Boy's death started because Jim Hellwig couldn't just run to the ring quickly. Like, do you think about it? This is how crazy the competition between the WWF and WWF and WCW was, is that they were like, we got to bring the Ultimate Warrior in. We got to convince these kids he has superpowers. That's the only way we're going to beat Vince McMahon's ratings on Monday night.
Is Ultimate Warrior in some ways the best wrestler ever, though? Because how much money did this guy make? How much did he make in 98?
He made more than the 2.5 million that was rumored.
So he waits 3 years and then he just makes that money anyway. Also, when he asked for 2.5 in 96, he came into the WWF and also was like I heard somewhere he was offered like a 4-year deal in 1997. The Ultimate Warrior was for $750 a year, and he turned it down.
Where?
I don't want to do the dates in WWF.
Fuck, that's amazing.
Can you imagine they would have had to buy him out?
Oh, yeah. If they couldn't afford fucking Bret's salary, imagine. And I got news for you. If you thought the Montreal Screwjob was weird with Bret Hart, imagine if they had to do the Montreal Screwjob with the Ultimate Warrior. It would have been just Shawn Michaels, which would have been given a handgun and just shot Jim Hellwig in the ring.
No. Jim Hellwig would have not spelled out WCW. He would just want to have been the hand sign of a swastika. And he'd be going to the Nazi party? And he's like, that's right.
Yeah.
Nazi's good. I wrote a movie. It's called American History X, and they added an ending to it I hated.
Yeah,
it was just the basketball scene.
I watched the first part of the American History X movie. That's all I needed to see. It was very good. I don't believe in racism. I just felt that those gentlemen were being a bit loud on a suburban street, and you have to deal with that kind of stuff accordingly.
This is the biggest surprise I thought about Rich Wilson, the Renegade, is I thought he passed away much later in life, but he passed away 1999.
Yeah, essentially he was released and didn't handle the topsy-turvy weird mind games of the wrestling business as no one could, because he was, never forget this, he had been in like a very warm and welcoming industry comparatively, male stripping.
That's crazy. And also indies where everyone's like, hey, we're doing this together.
Yeah. Hey man, don't worry.
Also, I don't know what it's like, but it's like when you're starting out doing stand-up, at least everyone's just so excited to do anything, and then it eventually like warps into you have expectations and all this, like anything would. But when you have more time into it, and it just seems like he skipped like 9 steps in going to WCW. He was probably like, that guy's doing a Barnyard show, I wanted to get on the Barnyard show. And then it's like Mark Marrow backstage being like,
yeah,
you don't do a wrist lock, I'm the wrist lock guy. All right. So get your fucking shit and get the fuck out.
Yeah. But it's not even Mark Marrow. It's Paul Orndorff, Arn Anderson. Ric Flair was like openly hostile to this guy. Like Ric Flair mocks this guy who, by the way, dead when Ric Flair writes that book, mocks being like, this guy was shit. And then Arn had to lose to him. And it's like,
well, they
Richard.
wanted Rick to lose to him. Arn
yes, they did.
What they talked down to like that. Let's not forget. Ric Flair's just done jobs for a year in getting Hulk Hogan into WCW, and then they literally go and they're like, hey, Ric Flair, can you lose to this guy who probably is like, hello, sir, I've watched you on TV. And Ric Flair's like, fuck this guy. How many flight attendants has he sexually assaulted? None.
Yeah.
Because it better be in list 6 if I'm losing to him. Does he have any racial diatribes on, I'm assuming, his answering machine? Hulk Hogan had them on there? No?
Let me ask you this, Renegade. When you come home, is your wife shaking in fear?
You don't just shake those ropes. Shake the hearts of people who love you. That's how you really be a wrestler.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Renegade. Have you ever seen the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Dennis says by implication a lot? That's how Ric Flair lives his life, and that's how you live your life.
That's right. That show came out 10 years after he died.
20 years, probably. Yeah. No, Rick Wilson was dead. So in February 2nd of 1999, fresh from being released from WCW, he argues with his girlfriend and kills himself. It's one of the saddest things ever. And
I think it's the saddest thing ever. I mean, Larry, let's say this. It was sad that he died, but it's not as sad as like
yes, it is.
Kids buried under a school.
As sad. Okay. No, of course not. It's just brutal, but no. What's brutal about this is basically that Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan brought a guy into wrestling, broke his mind, and then we're like, all right, head out back into America. Nothing that you can hurt yourself with out there.
It's yeah, you're totally right. They break his mind. But 1999, I would, and it sucks that he's not around for many reasons, because I don't want to just say this, but it does stink that we didn't get like a Renegade shoot interview of like.
Oh, do you know how over the Renegade would have been in Shikara?
Yes, that's true. And also just like him having stories of like, yeah, and then Terry Taylor filled my gas tank with not just sugar, but also dog shit.
Yeah. I'll never forget when both Paul Roma and then just a bunch of cops came to my house and demanded to smell my mom's underwear.
Ice Train not only finished my beer, he made me eat the glass. Even Ice Train was mean to me.
Ice Train was, if anything, the worst one.
He probably just like hung out with the guy who was Roadblock or something.
That's so funny. Yeah, his best friend at the business was just Roadblock.
He never took that sash off no matter what.
Yeah,
he lived his gimmick. He would just stand in the middle of the road for hours.
Do you know how many times that guy almost died in traffic?
John, what's the best thing about the Renegade?
It shows how insanely egotistical Hulk Hogan essentially caused a man's suicide so he could get a victory back in the fake world of pro wrestling.
I mean, I think it shows the lack of creativity of Hulk Hogan that he's like, let's just do the Warrior again. Like, it's crazy. What's even crazier is that is
he didn't learn this lesson because the next thing he does is bring Roddy Piper in so he can beat Roddy Piper.
But he actually got Roddy Piper. He didn't bring in like Toddy Diaper.
Yeah, but that's because he got Roddy Piper. I guarantee Roddy Piper just likes making money and doesn't want to be around his family more than the Ultimate Warrior.
And also, like, these guys were getting like $3 million a year to wrestle. But that also gave way to Roddy Piper's reality check character, which is one of the most cringy fucking things. But anyway, what's the worst thing about the Renegade?
You didn't enjoy when he had a t-shirt that had a check mark on it and he kept pointing at it and going, I'm the reality checkmate.
Oh, yeah. And then what old school's cool. That one, terrifying.
Oh, so good.
1990, it was real bad. Anyway, what's the worst thing about the Renegade?
The fact that he's dead.
I was going to say that, but you took a while to say it.
Yeah, I was so happy.
I'm going to say his move set.
I'm going to say his face paint. How about that?
Yeah, not that. I tricked you. Not that a man took his own life.
Yeah. It's just Jolly Japes.
So that's it. That's our fucking story on the piece of shit motherfucking Renegade. You know who we're gonna do next week, John? I just decided.
No. Who?
Ole Anderson.
Yeah, The Rock, Ole Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do Ole Anderson.
Do you think that is Ole Anderson still alive?
He is. He did a shoot interview that the guy asked him questions that are like, "Oh, how was your way here today?" And he's like, "Why are you getting up my ass, you little cunt?" So
yeah, he did. Yeah, I don't even fucking want to know.
He gets so angry at this guy just trying to read questions off a notepad. It's fantastic.
I'm literally just brought up a Ole Anderson and Ricky Morton shoot interview. This is going to be so crazy.
Ole Anderson is next week. Now it's time to say all the things that make us a bit of money off of this. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Twitter and Instagram at Wrestler Review. Fucking Facebook, The Wrestler Review Podcast. Fucking I'm Dylan Gott on all social medias at Dylan Gott, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok. I post old stand-up clips from when we could talk in front of people. John's on things as at the John Hastings. John Hastings Comedy on Twitch, twitch.tv/John Hastings Comedy. If you guys want more of this fucking horse shit, bullshit, fuck, patreon.com/Wrestler Review. That's patreon.com/Wrestler Review. If you don't want to fucking get any other bullshit, but you just want to support us a bit, redbubble.com/people/Wrestler Review for merchandise, t-shirts, shirts,
shower curtains.
There's a dress. You can buy that.
Yeah. Do that. Someone buy someone that dress. I'm now having the background the Ole Anderson Ricky Morton shoot interview where Ricky Morton is interviewing Ole Anderson. Ole Anderson looks like he just got beaten up and has had surgery. Ricky Morton looks fine. Yeah.
Ole Anderson looks like an angry raisin. We're gonna have a lot of fun next week.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Thanks so much for listening, guys. Thanks so much.
My ass.
Thank you. Bye-bye. We love you.